Welcome to the American Society of Magical.
What?
A magical is a black supporting character who only really exists to support the white lead. But in the American Society of Magical, a title I can legally say, magical aren't movie characters anymore. They're real.
2 hours later.
Yeah, you like that, huh, boy? Ain't it exhilarating? Shut your mouth!
Good Lord, help them all.
Hey guys, it's your boy Dragon back at it again with another Hollywood dumpster dive, and oh wow, I think I found the holy grail of this time with a movie called The American Society of Magical. Oh man, that sounds extremely racist. What's the clip I used to depict a disaster again? Ah, here it is. Right, so for some quick background, when I originally saw the trailer for this movie months prior, I got very curious about wanting to watch this movie since it looked like it came right out of thin air. But once I saw it a week after it released on theaters, I became determined to find out who was the director of the garbage that I had just exposed my eyeballs to. Well, after some quick investigation, I found out that unfortunately this movie was directed by a light-skinned black guy named Kobe LeBee, who identifies himself as a delusional man that sees systemic racism everywhere, and no, I didn't make that part up. He makes it abundantly clear himself in this interview he did with the Movie Times ages ago.
In my life, the more common impacts of racism, and I would argue the more insidious version of racism, is the sort of pervasive systemic racism that leads to unconscious bias, leads to all kinds of troubling economic and political and social realities, but it's incredibly hard to pin down. It's a ghost in the machine is the phrase. I think it's Toni Morrison's phrase.
What the fuck? Moving on.
Alright, so besides the usual crap that we have to deal with in this day and age, is there another reason as to why this movie was so badly received by almost everyone? Well, let me tell you a story about our main character Aaron from the 51 notes I took while watching this movie at the theater.
What's the most dangerous animal on the planet?
Shark.
White people.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so the story begins immediately with an awkward art exhibit scene where Aaron is in quite a rough pickle because, you see, he's so socially awkward to the point where he literally gets nervous while walking through this crowded exhibit full of white people that he forgets to even promote his artwork to them as they're walking by it, and the white woman manager of the exhibit gets so mad at him that she just kicks him and his crappy artwork right out of the venue, while our secondary character, Roger, who I will be calling Magic Man from now on, watches from the background in pure disappointment. Why am I pointing out the white people so much in this film? Well, because the movie does it every second it gets, like as if it's getting a stimulus check every time it mentions the word white, or points out white people being uncomfortable to black people like we're some kind of virus boogeyman.
That's concerning.
Anyways, a few minutes later, our depressed main character walks down the street and gets strong-armed by a drunk young white woman in the middle of the night into helping her use her debit card to get money out of her ATM. But the problem is that she left her card inside the ATM, she hands her purse to Aaron, she starts yelling drunkenly that somebody stole her card, and unfortunately Aaron almost gets jumped by the white woman's boyfriend and his friend until Magic Man, or Roger, comes along to save him by using black magic to apparate the purse in his hand to the lady, and he then goes saying, "Hello, miss. Did you drop your earring perchance? I found it lying on the street and wanted to return it to you before somebody else stole it. Also, are y'all hungry? There's a real good barbecue spot that my cousin just opened up in La Brea, and the pulled pork is to die for." And then after that, the white dudes apologize to Aaron and go on their merry way to fornicate and eat, I guess? Trust me, this movie is good at pulling random things out of its ass and not explaining anything.
You don't say. Huh?
Moving on, Aaron is taken to a bar by Magic Man, where he spends at least a couple of minutes shitting on him consistently, and then he goes, "Well, look, son, you're currently a big loser at life, but because you're a brother, I'ma help you out by offering you a job at this special place I work at, because I know that you're getting used to being oppressed by white folks, and I think I can fix that." A few minutes later, Magic Man takes Aaron to this hood barbershop next to what looks to be the most sketchy looking barbecue spot, where his journey as a black Fairly Odd Parent begins after crawling through a magic doorway that can only be entered through the barbershop mirror in order to get to his college entrance ceremony orientation.
Are you serious?
Now, what in God's name is a magical Negro? Well, according to this movie, they're a special type of magic black person whose only purpose in life is to suck up to the white man around them in order to keep them happy, and they measure this by using a magical white tears meter, by the way, but they also do it for the ulterior motive that if white people are kept happy and comfortable, then incidents where a distressed white person does something bad to another black brother or sister can be avoided, such as shooting them or accusing them of something that they didn't do, like stealing.
It's fun to do bad things.
Of course, there's only one problem with this movie's distorted viewpoint, and that is, what about black on black or minority on minority crime? Does that count as well, or are they going to pretend such a thing doesn't exist for the sake of pushing a fake narrative? Also, really movie, the bathrooms in this organization have white gloved magic hands that f***ing shine your shoes while you're washing your hands? Are you serious?
Like, I hear what you're saying, but you're white, so I don't know why. Black power! You hear what I'm saying, brother? Yeah, black power, do you hear me?
Oh, for sake.
Regardless, after Aaron's inducted into this racist cult, he goes on a training mission where Magic Man teaches him how to properly calm down a distressed white person by using a white cop going through his midlife crisis as a guinea pig, which I don't know if that was such a good idea after all, Magic Man. I mean, really? A white male cop from California? Could you have used one from, say, Florida, Alabama, or Mississippi? If your idea of a racially charged cop comes from the most rainbow-infused state ever, then that already lets me know you really know nothing about the depths of true police racism. That cop is tame compared to the ones from the other states that will pull you over and arrest you for just wearing the wrong kind of hoodie on a hot day and going 2 miles over the speed limit.
You're walking around in the dark at night, 81 degrees with a hood up, a sweatshirt on.
It's not 81.
It is. It's extra temperature.
Does that bother you?
No.
Anyways, Aaron, with Magic Man's help, figures out that the only thing this cop needed in order to reduce his white tears meter was to simply have some fun, help him with his social anxiety while boosting his confidence in the club, and then use some illusion magic in order to trick the bouncer into letting the cop inside the club. A few moments later, the movie abruptly cuts to a scene where Aaron is finally inducted into the cult fully after he gets accepted by its leader, Dee Dee Booker, who then lets him know that the source of their godlike reality-altering magic powers is apparently a collective one, just like BLM's before it was found out they selfishly stole $10 million of donation money.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so according to this movie, these otherworldly abilities stem from a collective web that grants the magic black people their powers so long as they adhere to the society's objective of not using their magic selfishly or fails to put their client first. If even one of them fails to follow these principles, then the entire system collapses, all the other magical black people suddenly lose their powers, but the only way they can get them back is if they find the member that broke the oath and kick him out of the society forever after mind wiping them so that their divine reputation with God is restored, I guess? The movie doesn't really try explaining why this is a thing, so this is the only answer I have.
It's the service industry.
That sounds about right.
Sometime later, Aaron gets a call while he's at a Starbucks and, wait a minute, I'm sorry if this sounds petty, but movie, are you for real? Did you just use the same green shirt, white blonde guy extra leaving the Starbucks Aaron is trying to get into again as an extra for the scene a second after where he's inside the Starbucks?
Come on now, dawg.
Right, so Aaron gets called by Magic Man via his magic pocket watch that he's late for work, but as he's rushing out of the Starbucks, he accidentally bumps and spills his love interest Lizzie's drink and offers to buy her a new one as an apology. However, what ends up happening instead is that Aaron summons that 16-year-old Atreus Riz, where as they're waiting in line, he just starts to obviously stare at her, like how Lizzo looks at a 4-pack McDonald's Happy Meal combo with extra large drinks, and then Lizzie does a reverse Uno card on him where she aggressively checks him him out like a T-Rex looking at his next meal, and when he asks her if he's got coffee stains on him, she just goes, "Oh, I don't know, I was just looking at that ass," which then makes Aaron feel awkward and I guess get a picture that men, or black men by this movie standards, can't check out women. Again, I have no idea what the whole point of that awkward dialogue was about, so I'll just chalk it up to this.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Anyways, to speed up this unnecessarily long portion of the movie, Aaron gets assigned a high-profile second job that the rapid response black magic people can handle because, in short, they have no idea what a social media company graphic designer feels like when their white tears meter jumps to unusually high levels of stress a day prior since they're old, so they thought our main character would be a perfect fit for this case because, according to Magic Man, the society felt like his background in yarn and shit would come in handy when dealing with a white man that works at a corporation called Meatbox that is obviously a jab at Twitter/X, and a CEO that acts like how activists think a fusion of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos would act in their half-warped imaginations.
That makes us look very bad. It makes you look very bad.
Also, they try to throw a more direct jab at Twitter by creating this imaginary situation called Ghana Gate, where for some reason the facial recognition software of this company can't identify black people's faces, so as a result they can't access their accounts, which starts a whole controversy that gets reported by a big media company that's obviously not MSNBC that claims the company is racist and needs to have a more diverse team of software engineers in order to pay for reparations for offending black people over a bug.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Anyway, what ends up occurring for at least an hour is that Aaron at first uses his magic to help out this graphic designer by reducing his stress levels until his love interest Lizzie comes into the picture because she's been working at this company for a long time. But then the narrative shifts where all of a sudden the graphic designer becomes romantically interested in Lizzie, which causes Aaron to be less determined to help this guy out, and then he has a discussion with Magic Man about his internal struggle with this, which ends in him telling Aaron to basically not even bother trying to win over Lizzie because at the end of the day, the magical cult creed is that the emotional satisfaction of white folks comes first at the expense of their personal happiness. However, it doesn't end there because now Aaron's love for Lizzie grows rapidly once he finds out that she actually likes him very much, and this then results in him breaking the cult's creed, which causes every magical black person throughout the US to lose their magic powers, and it leads to this emergency summons where the announcement is made that there's a traitor in their midst that's preventing them from accessing their godly powers, and I don't know man, but I'm sure this random dude especially must be very pissed off when he lost his power in this exact moment.
Hey yo, what the f?
After multiple minutes of the cult leader complaining that they don't have magic powers, everyone in the cult is told to search for the disobedient member, and meanwhile Aaron tries to uphold his sworn duty by trying to help out the graphic designer guy, despite not wanting to. He also strongly friend-zones Lizzie so he doesn't have to deal with his emotional turmoil anymore, but then he is forced to attend and speak at this virtual company conference that the graphic designer was chosen to conduct over the more experienced Lizzie, which eventually sends him on this ridiculously insane rant because he got triggered once he found out that the only reason he's there is because he's the diversity hire chosen to represent the company's rebranding for better ESG scores. Now, I found that to be unexpectedly funny because it's like this victim mentality movie is telling on itself by letting us know that the things people like me have been saying for years about companies hiring less capable people in order to fill out their forced ESG quotas are 100% true.
What?
After coming to this realization, Aaron's rant gets worse when he accuses the graphic designer's boss, and the CEO of being racist because they don't want to talk about the real issue going on here, which is that Aaron feels like he lives in a country that makes him feel like it wants him dead if he's not going to act like how they expect him to act because it would make people uncomfortable, specifically white people, which then turns into just this man yelling incessantly about him confusing the depressing problems all people in the modern world have to deal with for targeted racial discrimination against black people.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
After giving everyone that emotional middle finger, he uses his magic powers to apparate Lizzie to the Empire State Building where he confesses his love to her, tells her that she's not crazy about what just happened, but right before he's about to kiss her, he gets teleported to the cult's headquarters where he gets heavily berated and banished by the leader for breaking the creed, and he leaves it by giving a speech that's basically summed as "F*** white people and their comfort." After this, Magic Man tries to mind wipe Aaron, but unfortunately his powers don't work anymore because people from the society developed rebellious notions. Magic Man lets Aaron go. He meets Lizzie, who is mad at him for leaving her stranded in New York. They end up finally kissing. The movie ends with them walking down the city road while talking about something, and then we get a final bonus scene where we find out that the director of this movie wants to torture us some more by, I guess, teasing that he could make a potential spin-off project of this movie for the Society of Supportive Wives and Girlfriends, or SOSWAG, if he felt like it. So this is my response to all of that.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
You need to shut the f up.
Yeah, look, I've had it up to here with all these self-righteous movies trying to act like there's this big boogeyman out there that's trying to destroy every single minority under the sun, okay? There is no boogeyman, you extremist assholes! Your goddamn fear of all the false garbage social media has been feeding and manipulating you with lately has truly made you think that there is this cultural war being fought in order to protect minorities, but let me tell you something, you are being lied to and used by people who claim to fight for you when in reality they despise you and only act as allies for either social clout within their group or some sick puppet master sense of self-satisfaction.
No shit.
Now, do genuine, racist, bigoted people exist out there in the world? Of course they do. It's an unfortunate fact of living the human experience, but that doesn't mean that half or more of the people on this planet are out to get you or hate you simply because of your beliefs or skin color. Most people don't care about such things. They just want to live a normal, peaceful life without harmfully infringing on other people's livelihoods. That is a fact, and if you don't like it because it means you can fabricate a false conflict between whites and blacks, then how about you go f*** yourself, movie?
You're goddamn right.
No, I don't want to go on a long rant about that anymore because that's not what this video's about. So let me get straight to the point with the ratings since I'm really irritated. This movie is a pile of 10 out of 10 manure or a 1 out of 10 in normal people ratings. There is nothing worthwhile to be gained from watching this movie. I would recommend this film to the Guantanamo Bay guards because it's an excellent tool for causing emotional distress during, well, psychological, persuasion, let's just put it that way. Number 2, the narrative structure makes you think that it's going to be a witty comedy about a young man dealing with social anxiety and eventually overcoming that in order to be with his one true love, but instead all we get is a story that has a 95% focus on fake systemic racism, a ridiculous focus on black victimhood mentality, the further degradation of black people to mere massa helpers, a complete racist disdain for white people in general, and a very boring / crappy 5% focus on the comedic aspect of the story.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Number 3, my recommendation for normal people would be to just skip this film and watch Blazing Saddles instead, because at least what that movie does is use comedic racism in order to make fun of a very dark time in US history, and it makes it quite clear that this is the objective at the end of the day.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Other than that, folks, I wish you all a wonderful day. Stick around for this last bit if you want a recommendation for another one of my videos or playlists, and namaste.
And now for something completely different.
What are stories but mystery boxes? There's a...
What a load of shit.
You wanna play games? Okay. I'll play with you.
Say hello to my little friend!
Damn!
Oh, no, I ain't messing with you. Oh, no.
Until next time, I'm a British person. Good night.
What? You want more?
It's okay. We know.